Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Deep Cut Dive. Today we've got in the co-captain's chair from Dayton, Ohio today, Mr. Jeff Young. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Aloha. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're catching us on the fine YouTube channel, Sea of Tranquility.
That's
nice
right.
to be here, Pete.
Doing good, doing good. Good to have you. So today, as promised, we're a day late, but as my mother always said, better late than never, right? So we've got Deep Cut Dive into the catalog of Fleetwood Mac. So what Jeff and I are tasked with today is to go deep into the albums of Fleetwood Mac to talk about each. We're going to bring up 5 deep album cuts, non-singles, non-radio hits, non-stuff that's on their classic live albums, stuff that they didn't play all the time live. It's okay, they've played it on the tour of the album, so on and so forth, but basically the non-popular tracks. And, you know, we've got a couple eras here to deal with, so whether we'll see, like, which one of, you know, how we leaned, you know, you got the Peter Green era, you got the Danny Kirwan era, you got, you know, All by Himself, you got Bob Welch, you got, you know, the Buckingham Nicks, and I mean, there's all sorts of stuff here. So pretty interesting catalog, I think, to kind of take this approach with. So so if you haven't caught our big marathon top 15 songs of Fleetwood Mac that we did however long ago that was. So I tried very hard.
Those weren't necessarily deep cuts, though. Those were just like kind of our top 15.
Our favorites, yeah. But some of them were deep cuts. I think there's probably a track or two that there might be a little overlap, but that's okay. Because I think, you know, what, 50% of the people watching this show probably know all the really popular Fleetwood Mac tunes, may never have heard any of the Peter Green or Bob Welch tracks before, right? Or only really know like those, you know, dozen or so really popular Buckingham Nicks era albums and songs, right? So so hopefully, you know, we've got some stuff that you guys can listen to and go and check out and see if, you know, these albums are worth investigating. So I don't have mine in any order. I usually do mine kind of chronologically of when they were released. So I'm going to have Jeff kick us off with his first choice. And we'll see where this takes us, right? So it's up to you, my friend. Go for it.
All right, Fleetwood friends. Which order do I want to go in is the question. My clipboard's here. I didn't want to mess with it all show long. So I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start with a track from the much maligned Tusk album. Right.
Maligned by many, including myself. I'll just throw it out there right off the bat. People can be like, oh, come on, Pete, it's the best album they ever did. Yeah, well, if you think so, that's great. It has some very good tracks, though. I totally agree.
Some gems abound.
Yeah.
I think. And one for me off that LP, or it's a double LP.
Yeah.
I stand corrected, would be entitled Storms.
That is indeed a good one. That is indeed a good one. Yes.
And in the barren, you see the tumbleweeds blowing by, but then there's a little oasis there in Death Valley. That is the song Storms.
Yeah, there. You know what? I mean, man, that is a good track, and I think Tusk for me would have been a better single album. I think as a single album, it's pretty damn good. I just find that, like, man, close to half of Tusk for me is just kind of like throwaway stuff. I don't know. I know, like I said, I'm going to get tons of hate for that, and I get it. You know, you can't like everything, but that is a very good one. It's a very, you know, because parts of like that album is almost like they're kind of like a weird Lindsey Buckingham solo album, to me anyway. Good, bad, or ugly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jeff's not saying much, so he obviously doesn't agree with me there. So that's okay. That's
no, I'm not big on Tusk either.
Okay. Okay.
You know the album that I love, and that there's going to be at least a couple tracks from that and some honorable mentions.
I think I do. All right. So I kind of wanted to represent all the eras here. So I'm going to go way back to Mr. Wonderful probably one of the worst album covers of all time, but hey,
My
whatever.
eyes, my eyes.
I know, right? It's like, I can't unsee that
I'm
now.
blind.
1968. So the song that I picked here is called Love That Burns. It's one of the longer tracks on the album. It's just a really good kind of slow blues, crazy good lead guitar from Peter Green and Danny Kirwan. The song's written by Peter Green and C.G. Adams. It's got really good vocals from Peter Green, who's actually a very, very good singer. It's just kind of like this cool, smoldering British blues rock tune. And I think it's just, Peter Green's like one of the most beloved guitar players from that era for a reason. And I think this is a really good example of some of his great guitar work from this album. And it's not one of those songs that was played live around back in the day, because those first couple albums, they played a lot of those tunes live all the time. But ironically, this is not one of them, and it's one of my favorites on the album. So Love That Burns from Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Horrible album cover, Mick Fleetwood.
Is that Love That Burns a slow burn, buddy?
It's kind of slow burning, maybe a little different than your slow burn, but it burns a little bit on the slow end.
All right.
So, all right, back to you.
I'm going to go really deep this time off the Rumors album. How about some Dreams, people? Just kidding. Just kidding, man.
I was going to say.
That song does never get old, though. That's
I absolutely agree.
Very close to my heart. That's
yes.
Still as fresh as a daisy today as it was the day it was released.
Yeah, most of that album I can still listen to.
Pardon?
Most of that album I can still listen to.
It's so well produced, well written. There's a lot of airspace, and you can hear every instrument in its place,
so
to speak.
Yep.
You want a legit pick? How about let's go really rare? And maybe this is on an album. I'm sorry I didn't track it down. And I'll be happy to leave the link in the comments section. And I love this song so much, and it's not a deep cut hit wise, but there's a demo floating around of Stevie Nicks and just a electric keyboard of some sort. It's the demo for Gypsy.
A demo for Gypsy. Wow. Early demo.
I do have to say, my buddy Ron Orion out in Sedona, Arizona, probably the biggest Stevie Nicks fan on the planet, for sure the biggest Stevie Nicks fan I know, and Fleetwood Mac aficionado to be sure. And that was when he posted it on his wall last week that I just love. It's very haunting, and I think it's kind of cool for people to maybe see a demo version, how the song was when it was very raw and primitive before it got blown out and produced, so to speak. So Gypsy, the demo version by
I'd like to hear that. I wonder how different it is from the finished product. Pretty cool.
Very, but
cool.
Yet somewhat the same.
Yeah. All right.
And Mr. Pardo, your next pick would be?
My next pick, we're going to go to the Then Play On album, one more from the Peter Green era. And I think this is a song that both you and I touched on when we did our top 15 song show, but I think it's worth mentioning because it's not like a traditional type of song for this band. It's more like an extended jam. So we're talking about Searching for Madge from 1969's Then Play On. It's just this really cool studio jam with tons of real, molten bluesy solos from Peter Green and Danny Kirwan. And I think, I don't know, you got Fighting for Madge and Searching for Madge, right? They're both kind of jams that they threw on here, all part of the same jam, but they put them at different points in the album. But I think it's just a nice little break from the more traditional kind of bluesy fare that's on this album. Just this band could jam when they wanted to. And I'm sure if you saw the original lineup live, you got lots of that. So Searching for Madge from Then Play On. That's my next choice.
We did hit on that.
Yeah, I thought so.
Mm-hmm. May I throw another?
Yes, indeed.
Off the diving board into the deep end. How about we go to the Future Games album for a little ditty entitled "What a Shame."
Yeah.
Shame if you don't know that tasty treat.
Yeah. That whole album is filled with great deep cuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future games.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to join you.
I'm happy with that pick.
I'm very happy with it. And you know what? I'm going to stick on that same album actually for mine.
You go.
1971's Future Games. How about the title track?
Yeah.
Great kind of. I listened to
killer.
that song. It's so different for this band based on kind of where they just came from. So you got Christine McVie as a full-time member of the band now. You got Bob Welch in the band. You got Danny just kind of trying to be the guitar hero in the band now that Peter Green's left. But this song is kind of like, it's kind of lush and dreamy, bluesy pop, but it's got this kind of like, especially vocally, it's got like this Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young kind of feel to it. A lot of really tasty guitar licks from, Danny and Bob. And it's just a terrific song, haunting vocals, but yet real catchy, real breezy. I just love it. I think this whole album is like that. It's just a really, really cool album that in a weird way, even though it would be a few years before Buckingham and Nicks joined the album, it's like you get some of those kind of like California rock flavors, right? I guess that's the Bob Welch thing. He really, when you think about it, he was the perfect bridge from the all British blues stuff to kind of that California sound when, Nicks and Buckingham joined the band. So it was almost like Bob Welch kind of helped usher in that sound because could you imagine if they went from Then Play On to Rumors or the Fleetwood Mac album? That doesn't make any sense, but you have all these very fine albums in between that I think are a big part of the whole Fleetwood Mac history. So,
well, a couple things I got to throw out about Mr. Welch. First of all, is that we should just put out there on the table both Paris albums in their entirety as deep dive.
Yep.
And I remember that it's such a fond memory. The Paris album with the green neon logo was one of the first albums. I remember seeing the Ramones' first album and that Paris album in the collection of LPs in the WKET Kettering Fairmont West High School radio station album library. And I fell in love with that album then, and I still have it on vinyl. To this day, I went out and got it. So the Paris stuff is killer. And yes, I concur, the Bob Welch era stands on its own. It's not just a great bridge. It stands on its own. I mean, and Sentimental Lady, there's a couple tracks that appear on both Bob Welch albums and Fleetwood Mac outings.
So like Sentimental Lady and Hypnotized, right? Yeah, exactly. And for those of you who wonder what this Paris band that Jeff is talking about, so this was this little super group that Bob Welch put together with Glenn Cornick, the bass player from Jethro Tull, and Wild Turkey as well. Who played drums? Who was that? Was that?
They'll make me run upstairs and get the vinyl.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who played drums in that. Was that Soupy Sales' son? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was a notable guy. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now, but very, very good stuff. And that was Bob Welch's kind of like real heavy rock band. So pretty good stuff.
Like I play some heavy tracks on the radio show, kind of Zeppelin-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a real Euro flair to it. Killer stuff. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, kind of unknown to a lot of people, but worth seeking out if you like that sort of like, kind of like off the beaten path 70s heavy rock stuff that kind of didn't get a lot of airplay or sales or anything like that. So
had I not gone for my FCC license in high school, I wouldn't have ever probably discovered that album because it was just sitting there with my name on it.
Yep, there you go.
Staring me in the face. Paris.
Right place, right time.
Green neon.
All right, I'm going to go to this album, 1975 self-titled one. All right. And the song I'm going to pick is actually a song that was previously recorded on a little album by a duo called Buckingham Nicks. The song is called Crystal. Album. Crystal, right?
That Great. Album stands on its own.
It's a very good album. I recently got
everyone's got to get Buckingham Nicks.
Yeah, it's quite good. I like it quite a bit. And like I said, Crystal, they kind of brought that song into the band. It's on their self-titled debut album. They brought that song to the band. Fleetwood Mac re-recorded it. Both versions are kind of different from each other, but it's basically on this album. It's kind of like a gentle pop, folky flavored track. It's written by Stevie, sung by Lindsay. Great vocal on here. I think that the version on this album is a little bit different because it's got like keyboards and stuff on it. It's got some cool Christine McVie kind of like proggy synth lines going on there. But at its essence, it's just a really good kind of like acoustic pop tune with some really haunting melodies and really, really good song. There's Tallulah. What's going on, lady? What's going on?
Tallulah's a Fleetwood Mac
Can imagine.
aficionado as well.
Yeah.
She likes her some Lindsay and Stevie.
She's like, yes, indeed, Daddy. It's always got that smile on her face.
Say hello to everybody out in the Sea of Tranquility. They're all right there. They're all right there.
It's like, yeah, Daddy, just give me a kiss. That's all right.
She'll go do her thing now.
There you go.
My turn?
Your turn.
Well, I threw out a Tusk track called Storms. I'm going to throw out a Bare Trees track entitled Dust. Killer tune.
Yes, yes, indeed.
If I do say so.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Moody. Hopefully that's a surprise and deep enough. I love that track.
Yeah.
Bare Trees.
That's a really good album too. Really good album.
That has Sentimental Lady on it.
Yep. Like I said, I think that the Bob Welch era is very underrated, and there are just, like, for those people who just only know Fleetwood Mac of the Buckingham Nicks era, man, you got to go back to those Bob Welch albums. Some great stuff on there. Really good stuff on there. All right.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Reach.
All right. So, God, am I on my last pick already? I guess I am. Huh? All right. So,
how's that can be? I got two more. How can that be? Don't I?
Do you? You got some extra ones. That's okay. We can hear your extra ones because I know that I've been waiting for you to hit that favorite album of yours, and you haven't yet. So Jeff's like, "Damn it, I did 7."
Well, I did. I think I did 6. And
that's all right. We'll give you a bonus round. We'll give you a bonus round. That's all right. I knew there was stuff you were holding on to there.
Yeah, the guest can pull a mulligan.
That's right. That's right.
And
so
people are so like narrowly focused on Fleetwood Mac with their attention span of the catalog of Fleetwood. Anything we can do to widen the horizons this
is a good thing, right?
I think is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go to Mirage for my final pick from 1982. Good album, right? Really good album. The song is called Book of Love. Again, another one of those albums. I think those 80s albums all had multiple hits and videos and stuff that they played live all the time. But Book of Love, not one of them. And it's a really, really good song. It's another Lindsay song. He wrote this song. It's just a really good hook-laden pop tune. Got his really good lead vocals, and you got Stevie and Christine on the backing vocals. It's got this big, lush acoustic guitar kind of arrangement going on at the end. It's got this sizzling but short electric guitar solo to kind of close out the song. It's just a really good song, really catchy, and I think it's another one of the really memorable tracks from this album, which is an album full of memorable tracks. But this one, wasn't really a hit, kind of ignored by most people, and it's a hidden gem on this album, I think.
True. All right, here comes the mulligan. In a 3-way trilogy for number 1 off the hugely underrated, should be right there. For me, it's right there with Rumors. And Lindsay wails on this album. He uses a VG8, a Roland VG8 guitar synth on the whole record, with all the patches in there, direct into the board with his Rick Turner guitar. He's playing on this record. Like, he's coming on this record like he's meaning some business. Plus, there's just some really cool, moody tracks. So in my menage a trois of a mulligan, I'm going to throw down a Lume and a very appropriate and timely song, What's the World Coming To?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's gone to the moon. What's the world coming to?
Good choices. Good choices.
Every song on that album, like Rumors, maybe listen to Rumors on a Sunday and Say You Will a try on a Saturday. Great, great weekend jams, people.
Do you think if that album would have been released 10 years before, it would have been probably the huge, massive success that it probably should have been? Not that, I mean, it was successful, but
Maybe
like,
right around Tango in the Night,
yeah,
or somewhere in there.
yeah,
After that, maybe.
yep. Between like Mirage and Tango in the Night, I think would have been like a perfect place for that album. Like it did well on its own regardless, but by the time that album came out, I mean, albums are not selling like they were back in the 70s
Which
and the
is the
80s.
tragedy with that record, and why you hear me all the time going on and on and on and on, telling people, Say You Will. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out that album. It's in its entirety, because every song on that's a deep cut dive.
Yep.
And every song could be a hit.
Yep.
Very
Absolutely.
consistent record. And guitar players, I'm just telling you, if you love I think a lot of guitar players say they love Lindsey Buckingham, having not heard one of his best guitar records. So put that in your pipes and smoke it.
There you go.
Or toke it.
So there you have a selection of Fleetwood Mac gems from their catalog that are pretty deep.
Got an honorable mention.
Oh, that's right. It's got one more.
I just got one honorable mention today, not like last show when we went on and on and on with honorable mentions, which we could. But I think it's on, if I'm not crazy, it's hold up that Mirage album again and correct me if I'm wrong, but how about some Empire State?
Empire
Tango in the
State.
Night or Mirage?
That's on this one. Track number 7.
That's a different kind of cool. That's a different kind of cool tune.
Yeah, there's some different flavors going on this album for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think this album and Tango in the Night are both very different. Like Tango in the Night is like, and that's Tango in the Night's a really poppy album for them, but it's got some kind of like Caribbean flavors and all sorts of weird things going on there. But I think this one too has got a nice mix of styles. But
I'm sorry we didn't pick any deep cuts off Tango in the Night, because that's also one of my favorites.
Yeah, I wanted to. I found like that most of those songs were minor or big hits. And the couple that were not really up to snuff with some of the stuff. I think I was better served choosing the song I chose, Book of Love from Here, I thought. But so much good stuff. I just have to wonder like how many people out there, who might stumble upon this show have really only heard Rumors and maybe the Greatest Hits album. And it's just like, man, there's so much else from this band, right? It's just, and granted, I know their hits are great. They are. But their album tracks are very, very good, very strong. So
let's make this video go viral and rectify.
That's right. That's right.
Situation.
So if you've seen this, share it wherever you possibly can, and we'll do the same. And we'll get some of these deep cuts from Fleetwood Mac out there for people to listen to. So you know the drill, guys. If you're watching this and you're a huge fan of this band also, choose some additional songs that maybe we didn't touch on today as recommendations for those who just don't know the catalog well of Fleetwood Mac other than those popular songs. And I think that's the point of the show, is to get exposed to stuff that you maybe haven't heard before, because you don't own all the albums. You only listen to the radio. You only buy greatest hits sets, all that sort of thing. There's a world out there above and beyond that, my friends. So that's what we're trying to do with this Deep Cut Dive show. So Jeff, you got some stuff to plug here before we go?
Well, let's see. When's this airing? Do I have a radio show tonight or tomorrow?
Tuesday morning. So it'll be airing before your radio show.
So tonight, people, come on over. Don't be shy. Surf on over on the Sea of Tranquility to www.jeffyoungjams.com. I got a fine radio transmission all planned for you with the final mastered, going off to the distributor this evening. Final mix of Slow Burn, my new single, featuring James Lomenzo on bass, Jeff Bowders on drums, Andrea Witt on pedal steel guitar, amazing pedal steel guitar. Really pleased how the track came out. We spent just an extra week listening, tweaking, because we had the time, just adding a little more purple here, just a little orange there. little gray, just making it just right, just smoky enough, you know. And I think it came out really cool. So I think especially audiophiles, and if you like the music of Rush, Buckethead, I love the guitarist who played on Wicked Game, Chris Isaak single. His name's James Wilsey. He has an amazing solo album called El Diablo, and that was a big influence. I was listening to, believe it or not, a lot of Alice in Chains at the time, Dirt, and kind of drop D tuning stuff. So it's in a weird tuning, and there's a lot of secrets in that tune. So give it a few spins, and it goes on sale. You can hear it tomorrow night on the show, and it goes on sale everywhere. August 7th, New Music Friday.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. At
August 7th.
jeffyoungsongs.com. Jeff Young,
go.
songs.com.
So just think, on August 7th, not only can you buy the new Deep Purple CD, Whoosh, you can also buy Jeff Young's new single, right? So that's big Music Friday, right?
Yeah. Whoosh and woo. That's a good sign that we picked the same day. And I'm already here getting ready, setting up over there for my next single. It's called Wave Rider. So look for that sometime soon in the near future as well. That's a real Sea of Tranquility tune right there, people.
That's correct.
Fine surfing jams right there.
Very cool.
This is all music to take to the beach with you. I think my album is like good for that, good for Friday nights, late nights, going to the gym.
Surfing with Jeff Young. Surfing with Jeff Young, right? No surfing with the aliens here. This is surfing with Jeff Young, right?
And your Captain America kind of has that surfing with the alien vibe.
Yeah, he's got his shield behind him, and
let me just, while I'm sitting here, since we're talking about t-shirts, let me give a shout out and a plug to my dear friends, great young band Fire Tiger. They're out of Los Angeles. If you dig like 80s Pat Benatar meets Blondie meets The Fix, there's just a lot of cool stuff that this band has happening. They just dropped their new album, and it's called All the Time, and I hope people check that as well. They've been on my show a couple times. I've jammed with them out at the Whiskey on the Sunset Strip. That video's on my youtube.com/JeffYoungTube. So I think that's all the plugs that are fit to print today, Mr.
Sounds
Pardo.
good. Lots of exciting stuff. So make sure you check all that out, and also stop on over to www.seaoftranquility.org. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, of course. We're here on YouTube all the damn time. It's funny, I always say that, but yet I didn't post anything all this past weekend, and we had people saying, "Pete, you say all the damn time, but yet we didn't see you all weekend. We thought something was wrong." It's like,
well, you got videos there 24/7, 365, a big archive, and I bet there's some back episodes people could stand to catch up on.
I'm sure there are plenty, because I get people asking
all the time. Playlist.
Yeah, lots of playlists.
Don't forget about the playlist. Like there's a Deep Cut Dive playlist. Even on my channel, on my YouTube, I've got like all of our appearances on my TV appearances playlist.
Yep, there you go.
So make it easy for people to find us.
Yeah,
we've done a ton of shows by now together.
We have, yeah.
It's
well over 20, I would think, right at this point, right? At least, yeah. There's almost 6 years of stuff in the archive. So go to the playlist, folks, and check it out, because I'm sure there's stuff you haven't seen from the early days. I'm not a big fan of my early videos. Like the first year I was doing this, but the humble beginnings, right? We've come a long way. We've come a long way here. So anyway, there you have it.
Deep Cut, baby.
I know, right? There you have Deep Cut Dive, Fleetwood Mac with Jeff Young and myself. I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you later on for I'm trying to think of what's coming up. So tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, will be Deep Cut Dive with Jack Toledano and Leonard Skinner. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned. Jeff will be back soon. Jeff and I are working on some of the deep cuts. I think Chicago, the Terry Kath years, and Yes is all coming from Jeff and myself in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for all that. Exactly. So we'll see you all real soon. Take care. Have a good one. For Jeff Young, I am Pete Pardo. Take care.
Salud.